It's Embert. He's a little old man, he has a story to tell and an opinion on everything. It's Embert. It's Embert.
Well, hello everyone, it's Embert. How are you today? Well, today we're going to talk about a sensitive topic, and I got to tell you up front. Now, it may or may not seem like it as we go through this, but Embert really doesn't have a particular position on this. And I want you to know that, not because I care if you hate me if I do or whatever, because it's a hard topic. And it makes it very hard because I see both sides of a thing. And this one's extremely complex. I'll give you some opinions, but, well, I'm going to give you the secret. We're going to talk about the abortions. Okay, but here's what triggered Embert to watch this. There's a damage that was done to a clinic, I guess it is. I don't know where it was, but it was all on the news. And I'm going to show you what was painted on it, okay? Now you can see what we're looking at there. Forced birth is murder. And then it says not a clinic, but it is a clinic, but they're saying it's not a clinic because I guess they don't want to recognize it. Anyway, here's Embert's question. What does that mean? Forced birth is murder. I don't understand. Because if you don't let the baby be born, then the baby is going to be murdered. If you do let the baby be born, then it's alive. Nobody comes out and says, oh, we're going to kill the mother now. So I'm very confused. And I mean, if anybody has anything that would help explain that, oh, this sweater has such nice pockets. It's cold in here. It's 80-something degrees outside. The air's on. My grandson, oh, Granddad, I'm hot. Whatever. I got my hands in my sweater pockets. Ooh. Anyhow, so I don't understand. Forced birth is murder. So what does that mean exactly? I mean, we don't murder the parent afterwards. We don't murder the baby. Nobody gets murdered. So I think what it is that some of these people that come up with these signs or these, well, spray paint, first of all, you do that to a building, you just broke laws. And you should go to prison for the rest of your life for doing something like that. Plus, before you go, you got to clean up all that stuff off the brick and that door. How dare they do that? That's just illegal. So Embert's a fan of throw them up the keys or throw away the key and lock them up. Well, I guess you got to lock them up first. And then you can throw away the keys. Anyhow, everybody is freaking out because of this Roe versus Wade. And basically, that's not a law, first of all. Let's get that clear. There's no federal law about abortion. And the whole reason that this comes up as such a hot topic is because everybody says, well, since there's no law, it could just be reversed anytime. Well, there's nothing to reverse. What Roe and Wade did is it was a ruling on one case. And it's been used as what you call a precedent to guide, but it's no law. There is no federal law about abortion. In fact, that's why the crazies are trying to hurry up and get one done that says you could deliver the baby and then stab them right in the eyes and kill them. And that's an abortion, not a murder. So Embert has some big problems with some of this. So, I'm going to just go ahead and give you my feedback. Okay. So here is what it is. Anyhow, it's tough, okay? When I think of a baby, it takes two, right? It takes a dad and a mom, okay? Even if that's artificial, segregation from a sperm bank, it's still a mother and a father, okay? Now, I don't think abortion is a big to-do with people that go and get it from a sperm bank. Oh, I hate the word sperm. It seems so nasty. Anyhow, if you get pregnant, I mean, the surface argument is you need to have that baby and you need to be a good mom. No matter if there's a dad or not, you got to do your best. It's just what you do. If you cause an accident in a car, you got to deal with that. If you rob a bank and you got to go to prison, you got to deal with that. So there's consequences for everything, including pregnancy. Now, so the way Amber feels about it is if you got pregnant and it wasn't a rape or an incest situation, you need to have that baby. That's just all there is to it. If you don't want the baby, you give it up for adoption. There are many people that like adoptions. Embert knows several couples who could not have babies of their own or didn't want to have their own baby and add another living being to an overcrowded earth. So instead, they sought to adopt. And almost all of those people have always been very good parents. You know, they say, well, your parents didn't want you. They gave you up for adoption. But you know what? You were chosen by your adoptive family. So that's something. Anyhow, you know, that the problem is solved. Sometimes you give birth to the baby and you say, no, I don't want to give it up for adoption. I'm going to raise it. Okay, you could do that. But if you just don't want to or can't or whatever the situation is and you give it up for adoption, do that. Okay? If you got yourself pregnant, that's your responsibility. Give birth to the baby, no abortion. Now, wherever it has more of a tug is on the whole, if it's a case of rape or if it's a case of incest. Oh, and also there's another one. That's the situation where you, why did the camera go away? Hello? This happened the other day too. I don't know what's happening here. I'm gonna get my grandson, I guess. Oh, there I am. Anyhow, so the other case is if the mother, her life could be in danger if she gives birth to the baby. Now, there's a saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't know if that applies to this or not, because I don't know what that really means. I mean, if you throw out bathwater, how could you throw the baby out with it? You usually just pull the little plunger and the water goes down the drain. The baby couldn't fit in there. But if we're talking about a case where the mother's life is in danger, if she gives birth to that baby, she's going to die. Oh, that's a tough one, you know, because there's always that, well, that's what the doctors think. And sometimes the doctors are wrong. Maybe she'll be fine. But if you get at least 3 doctors to independently say that, and that's the only way to save the mother is to lose the baby, I mean, the mother has to decide that, you know, with her husband, if there is one, and decide, because maybe she'll just say, I want this baby, and if I die, I die. So, you know, then it has to become a choice. Then it's a little different. You know, when it comes to rape, I mean, why, you know, the little baby could grow up to be a president, a good president. And of course, if you kill the baby before it's born, well, then you don't get to find out. So we don't know about all the babies that have been aborted, what they could have been. And I don't think that rape is a selfish reason to get an abortion. I understand it. Everybody just wishes that it didn't have to happen that way. You know, that somehow you could shut off the emotional side, give birth to the baby, give it up for adoption or raise it or whatever without having to kill it. But it wouldn't be fair to make a mother give birth to a baby that came from rape, because she's going to have to live with it the rest of her life anyway. You know, she just has to decide which is going to be harder. Living with the fact that I aborted a life, even though it may have come from half of a scumbag and then me, the mom, or whatever. So, you know, it's tough. That's why Amber says, I don't have a solid position on it, except if you mess around and have a baby or get pregnant, you got to deal with it. No abortion. But there are exceptions. And, Embert State is the only one, or not the only one of the states that allows that. Only for those reasons. So that's what's going to happen when this Roe versus Wade is overturned, which is going to be. All the crazies are out there breaking federal law, of course, not only doing what they did to that building I showed you, but you should see the inside of the building. I don't have a photo of that, but they blew up a room. They threw one of those Malibu cocktails in there and it blew up. Nobody was there, so nobody got hurt. Fortunately, neither did the killers. Anyhow, now you know, Embert has a heart, of course. Not everything is 100% etched in stone. It's tough. And I know a lot of people who struggle with this the same way I do, and they ultimately just go, if it's a rape, if it's an incest, definitely under rape, the incest, I just don't know. I never even really thought about that. But in the life of the mother being in danger, that could go either way. But, really that should be a decision of the mother and maybe the dad too. But I mean, this is the mom's life at stake. So I guess that's her ultimate decision. Anyhow, I hope that you don't abort any babies. If Embert was aborted, I wouldn't be here today for sure. And actually, you think back, let's say my wife decided she was going to have a baby. I helped, of course, because, I have a son and, of course, my grandson. If you go and you remove the son from the equation, there's no grandson. So who's sitting here with me doing this scammer thing? Probably nobody. Because if I had a grandson, it might be from a different baby boy that didn't get an abortion. And he would be a different person. Everything changes. Think about that. One thing you think about in your life. If you change one thing, it changes everything. So, if Embert was aborted as a baby, before, that's what we're going to talk about. No, you can't abort a baby after a certain point, no matter what. If you haven't decided by a certain point, and I don't know what that point is, but I'll be doggone if I'm going to say it's okay for a baby to be born and then be aborted. You don't do that. That's actually murder at that point. Once you are out of the womb, you're a whole human being. And actually, you're a human being before that. Just because you're on a feeding tube, which is your mother's umbilical cord, that's a feeding tube, basically. Well, if you're in a hospital on a feeding tube, they don't just pull the plug and kill you, do they? So Embert will not allow an abortion after a baby's born or so close to the edge. I think it has to be done in that first trimester. Some people say 6 weeks, but sometimes you don't know you're pregnant at 6 weeks. Sometimes people don't even show for 15, 20 weeks. True story. So, but they should know that something's not right, because I don't want to get into the intricacies of the vaginal system. But basically, when things aren't happening down there, making blood and gunk, whatever comes out of you women. And if that's not happening, you might be pregnant. So you got 6 weeks. That's not enough time. But a lot of people say 15 weeks. Embert's going to go with that. That's the first trimester. At least based on how a baby's supposed to be. It's supposed to take, 45, 9 months? So that's not 45. Well, whatever. There goes the camera again. I think I know why. I don't know if I know why. It's like something's clicking it and turning it off. Could be my grandson, and then I'll whoop his butt. Anyhow, everybody go have a nice day. Everett's going to do the same. I'm going to probably put on I'll probably get my jacket because it's cold.
It's Embert. He's a little old man. He has a story to tell and an opinion on everything. It's Embert. It's Embert.